I don't know. Was your time down? Was your thing messing up? Like,
No, it was
listen.
accurate.
Oh, was it? Okay, so on my end, it went from like 7 to 4, and I was like, "Is it even counting?" So I don't know.
Hey,
So
stream yard for you.
yeah, so here we are. So
Yeah.
welcome back to my series where I'm talking to different fans across the NFL. I'm super excited to talk all things Bucks with my next guest. And we're just going to let it flow. I just want to say, though, whenever you go live on your channel, you always tell the people what you're drinking.
Yes.
So, because that's who you are, if you don't mind when you introduce yourself, if you will let us all know what you're drinking.
All right, that works. So, technically T, I know you're like, who's this guy that has all the signs? I go by technically T. People call me T on an everyday basis. I do run a YouTube channel also. It's about tech accessories. So if you got an iPhone, I really don't talk about Android much, but if you got like an iPhone, MacBook, different things like that, I cover all accessories. I've been doing it for like 6 years, about to hit 110,000 subscribers. So that's something I
Okay.
do on the side, you know what I mean? But a bourbon. I'm a bourbon head. All right. So I always go live. I'm always drinking during my live streams. I am drinking Wild Turkey Rare Breed. So
Awesome.
that's what I'm drinking tonight. Just one little quick drink. We got to work in the morning, but to talk my books, I have a quick little drink. We good. We good.
I love that.
Yeah.
So let's just get right into it. So I would love to know what makes you a Bucks fan? How long have you been a Bucks fan? What started your fandom?
I probably was a Bucks fan, I would say early 2000s, right around when they did win their Super Bowl in 2002. So I'm not going to be
Okay.
like, I grew up around a household. My dad was a Redskins fan. So I always grew up around the Cowboy hate. I was just like, I'm tired of hearing about this. And I watched football my whole life. My brothers watched football, so I always watched it. And just something grew to me about the Warwick Dunn, you know what I mean?
That was the
The
John
staff.
Gruden.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that was
Okay.
Tony Dungy for 1 year, and then
Okay.
they swapped over.
Oh
Just the
gosh.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Warren Sapp, the Derek Brooks, the Rondé Barbers, the jersey I got on right now, the Mike Allstar,
John
Keyshawn
Lynch,
Johnson.
right?
Yeah, John Lynch. Yeah,
Oh wow.
I love that team. Like they were stacked from head to toe when they
Yeah,
won it,
they
and
were.
they were just hungry. Love that team, and ever since then, I've been rocking with the Bucks from our bad times. And I always have to mention that because everybody's like, "Oh, you're a new Bucks fan with Brady." I'm like, no, I've been through the bad Brad Johnson quarterback days to the Jameis Winston and
Oh,
depressing
Jameis.
times. And then we
Yeah.
got that Super Bowl. Will we ever see another one? I don't know, but I got to hold on to the Super Bowl that we did get with Brady. So I've been rocking with Bucks for a while. So it's not many Bucks fan when you really talk to people, but I've been rocking with them. I've been sticking with them, and through the rough
Trust
times,
me.
I've been with them.
I
Trust me.
know how hard it is to find a Bucks fan. Okay. So let's
I
not go
personally
there
only
because
know
I'm
like
aware.
3, and that's like distant friends. Like I don't know any like Twitter friends that I know this Bucks fan. So yeah, I'm always
Yeah,
the anomaly.
it's one of those franchises that you don't often hear a lot about
Mm-mm,
either. And
mm-mm.
so it's like trying to find a fan, you're like, well, who's talking about this team?
That's true.
So I do have a question. So you were
Yes.
a Bucks fan, and
Yep.
I felt like you guys were loaded before Tom Brady. And
Yeah.
I was like, if they could just get a quarterback, like they would be loaded.
Yeah.
And then here walks Tom Brady. When he
Yes.
came in, were you like, this is it? We're going to the Super Bowl? Or were you like, I don't know if this is going to work?
I don't. I did no idea we were going to Super
Okay.
Bowl. Not a single clue. In my mind, I'm like, Brady had his years. We are loaded. It looks great on paper,
Yes.
but can he be that same Brady? And that season really just it was crazy. You know what I mean? Like that was
Mhm.
the one season where I was really in here losing my mind. I watched every single game. And I'm in here just
Oh, you were
shouting,
all
going,
in.
oh yeah, I was all in because
Okay.
once again, look at my drought. So
Yeah.
for us to get a Brady that just we're winning, we're just the offense is clicking. I mean, I had no idea it was Super Bowl. No idea. I just didn't know what to think. I'm like, okay, we got Brady. All right. Now, was I the biggest Brady fan when he was at New England?
No,
I respected Tom Brady. I wasn't
yeah,
necessarily a fan. But when he came to
fair.
Tampa Bay, I'm like, I still remained loyal to that. So I wasn't like, oh my God, I gotta go out here and get a Brady jersey. No, I was like, you know what? I rock with Brady, but let's see what he's gonna do. And after coming here wearing the Super Bowl, and I love the way he got to Tampa Bay and just kind of let go of that. He was real. He was
Yeah, he became a
calm.
different Brady.
Yeah,
I feel like
that's
he
the reason why I
became
like him now.
TB12.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
like I feel
Yep.
like Tom Brady was like Tom Brady was whatever he was, but then I felt
Right.
like when he came to Florida, he was like
Yeah.
TB12. He was
Yeah.
like different.
He
He had
was
a different
different. Like,
swag.
he had the Florida boy turn him out. I was like, you know what? I like that Tom Brady. And I was rocking with him. The second season we had with him was a little bit rough, man. But hey, he came in and got us the Super Bowl. I wish he would have just retired right then. That would have been
Yeah.
the storybook.
Wait, he did.
No,
He
he played
did.
one season. No, he played one more
No,
season.
but didn't he retire and come back and play
Well,
that season?
yeah, he did that. Oh, that's why I classify as you should have retired as in not come back.
Yeah,
He
because I'm
retired,
like,
came back, and
okay.
so I wish he would have won a Super Bowl and rode off in the sunset. That would have
Yeah.
been his, because he tried to come back and follow it up. We were missing some people. People were hurt. It just wasn't the same complete team that we had during our Super Bowl run. But I respect Brady ever since he Tampa Bay. I hate saying that. Tampa Bay Brady, I like a lot more than New England Brady. Put it like that.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think New England Brady, he was such a winner. He was, you know how it is when
He was just
you're just
laser
kind of like
focused.
you respect it, but you're like whatever.
Yeah.
But then when I felt like the team didn't want him anymore and he went somewhere else, all of a sudden I was like, screw them. Like show them who you are, Tom. And then then I became a fan. I was like,
Yeah.
I hope he does it with this team because they're loaded. Obviously, I was sad that Jameis was no longer there, but I was like,
Yeah, he had his
do
time.
your thing. Do your
Yeah.
thing, Brady.
Yeah.
Like show them.
Yeah.
And
No,
even I remember when he went back to New England, I was like, he better beat them.
beat
Like,
him, bound him in the
forget
dirt.
them. They didn't want you.
That's all you did for that
any,
franchise. They just throw you away.
you're right. So anyways, I always say the thing I love most about the NFL and thing I hate most about the NFL is it's a business. And so
It is.
sometimes you get your get back and sometimes you
Yeah.
don't, but it is
That's
what
right.
it is.
Very true.
So how has free agency been for the Bucs? Have you all done anything that you love, anything you don't like? I know that you all signed a couple of people,
Yes.
like they're not a big deal, but
Yeah, we had that. Free agency was big for us because there were so many free agents. All of
Okay.
you gotta think, you have Baker Mayfield. We just did a 1-year contract with him when there was a test run. And I'm gonna be real with you, I didn't believe in Baker Mayfield. I did not. He proved me wrong. He had the best season that he's ever had. And we had to sign him. We'll talk about Baker Mayfield a little bit later. We had to sign him, maybe
you
because
had
he did
to.
an amazing
Yeah.
job. You have to sign him. So that was
And
that.
he played well. To be fair, he
Amazing.
played well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it shocked me, because I thought it was the Baker Mayfield of the old. When they signed Baker Mayfield, I'm like, no way. No. Please, this is not the way we're going out. You know what I mean? But he did an amazing job. I knew we had to bring him back in and sign him. I wasn't mad at that. Then we had Mike Evans. Of course, we got to pay our cash cow. They were a fool not to, because I thought they weren't for a minute. And I'm like, are you crazy?
I did too.
Are you literally going to let this guy, your future Hall of Famer first ballot, just walk out? You know what I mean? So you had to give Mike Evans the money. Then you get Winfield, our safety. You got to give him he deserves every bit of it. I love Winfield. He is a general when it comes to that secondary. I'm not mad at that. He's well deserved that huge contract. Well deserved. Devin White, I was sad. Devin White was one of my favorite players. I got like 3 Devin White jerseys. Like I
hate when that happens.
I have I got stitched Devin White jerseys. I'm just like, I was so I was like, come on, no, we're not going to sign. It was crazy to me. And I'm like, you let Devin White walk out the door?
Do you know how old he is?
I forgot.
It's okay if you don't.
He still has motor. He's a Pro Bowl linebacker all the time. And you let him walk out the door. Now I was kind of upset about that because the linebacker room, you had him and David right there. That was the 1 and 2 tandem. Now our linebacker room is very young, which I think they have very high hopes. It's a very young linebacker room. That's kind of one of my concerns that I have going into this season. So they let Devin White go. They let Carlton Davis go, but they did sign Bryce Hall from the Jets, who has some experience. So I think he can kind of step in and take that place of Carlton Davis. A lot of people thought up and down about Carlton Davis. He did let some players go, but then he really showed up in a lot of games for us. So I think he'll be missed to a certain extent. But we were able to pick up Jordan Whitehead back. He left us, went away. Him and Winfield they have that communication. They've played with each other before. So I think them getting back together is really going to help us with that safety room. I think it's great with him. And outside of that, that was the major things that they did what needed to be done. I hate that we couldn't find a way to make Devin White work, but you got to lose. You got to miss somebody when you're signing all these people. Somebody has to.
And you signed the people, in my opinion, they did the right thing.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you still have young linebackers that could potentially fill the role of Devin White, but it's hard to fill a void of an all pro linebacker. It's just hard.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is hard.
Yeah.
So what about the draft? How do you feel like you did in the
Draft.
draft?
You know what? I like our picks. So
Okay.
for our first
Okay,
pick,
so let me ask you.
yeah,
How do you watch the draft? Do you watch like day 1, day 2, day
I'll
3?
watch all of day one, all
Okay.
the way from the end. Day two, I'll watch it, but not as locked in as day one.
You're just
After
kind of
that,
checking in to
I'm
see what
no.
happens.
Yeah. After
Okay.
that, it's just on the TV. Like I was looking at it when we chose Bucky Irvin. You know what I mean? Like I was like, oh, I ran back in the house. Like, what did we get? Cool,
Okay.
Bucky Irvin. So first 2 rounds, I'm locked in. After that, I'm like, I'll just check it when we have our pick. I got a notification to come to my phone anyway. But I think we had a very good draft. So we solidified our center position with Graham Barton from Duke. We solidified.
Needed.
He was a steal at 26. I mean, I didn't expect him to fall that far. I think
That draft was weird
it
though,
was
with all
weird
those
because
quarterbacks.
we were looking for. I think we really truly wanted to get an edge rusher with our first
Okay.
pick, and nobody was really around at 26. And then you have
Yeah.
you have an All-American ACC, All-American 2 years in a row center that's going to probably at least play if he's healthy. That's a future center right there. You know,
Yep.
we're looking at what I think can be an All-Pro center with Graham Barton. So I love that pickup. That was a safe pickup on our line because our line is young. You know, I think from our center to our right side is solidified. Left side, we got to get Tristan Wirfs. He's next for that contract. You know, he's not coming to the OTAs, but we're not pressed about that. You know what I mean? So I
He's
think we
currently MIA.
right. So I think Graham Barton was a great pickup for the line. Now, number 2 pick was Chris Braswell from Alabama. I thought that was a good line. Once again, edge. They wanted an edge, so you had to go get him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I love that pick. Tyke Smith, safety from Georgia. I thought that was a good pickup. He's been solid. I don't really watch him a lot, but I've heard his names. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I feel like Georgia guys in the
Yeah.
NFL are
Yeah.
usually pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
So
the next 2 picks I'm really excited for. And you're like, wait a minute, you're excited for the later round picks,
no,
but
that's how I watch the draft.
right.
So that's why I always ask people like, how do you consume it?
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Jalen McMillan from Washington, I'm really looking forward to seeing because the wide
We saw
receiver
him this
room,
year.
we did. You know, I mean, you got to think he was before Odunze kind of
Mhm.
emerged. Last season, the season before that, he was an 1,000-yard receiver. And he's been kind of plagued with injuries here and there, but you can see he can be a starting wide receiver in the league. I easily think.
Sure.
I think our Mike, Chris Godwin, they're solidified when it comes to wide receiver. That third position is where I think he'll battle Trey Palmer from LSU, which he's in his second year. They're going to be battling for that 3 spot. So we'll see who comes out on top. You know what I mean? I like Jalen McMillan personally, just a little bit better. So I like that pickup. I thought that was really good. And you have to get a young guy in there at receiver because you don't know. You got Mike for 2 more. Chris Godwin, I mean, he's, Mike.
Where is Chris Godwin contract wise?
After this season, he's a free agent.
Okay.
So if I'm not mistaken, this is his contract. I think could be. I might be mistaken.
Or it's close.
That's fine. It's close. So Chris Godwin has always been he was 980 coming. He was real shy of 1,000 yards last year. So still a great, but you got to think it's just 2, both of them are kind of teeter-tottering. So I think McMillan can be a future star for us once he gets, under the ropes. Bucky Irvin.
Can I just say something? Teeter-tottering is such a Southern.
That's what you're like.
When you said that, I'm like, is this my uncle? Is this
I'm from Carolina, so I got a country in me, man. I got it.
Anyways, keep telling me about the teeter-tottering.
Yeah, Bucky Irvin. I don't know why. I just like Bucky Irvin from Oregon. I guess I've watched him for years. Yeah. I just love how shifty he is. I thought that was a great pickup for us, especially for our running back room that we need.
Good old Oregon.
It is. I know. It's just like, okay, I'll let it go because you're a Buck now. You know what I'm saying? But after that, we got I forgot the offensive lineman that we picked up from UTEP, and then we got Devin Culp from Washington, which was our last.
Interesting. Can I just say, I think UTEP is UTEP's been an interesting team. Obviously, I'm in Texas. They have like it's been it's like
over there.
UTEP
Yeah.
and UTSA have been the two schools
Yes.
that I feel like lately it's kind of
Yeah.
like you have a little sprinkle, you have a little sprinkle.
Mm-hmm.
They're just making things happen. Like kudos,
Yeah.
shout out to everybody in El Paso and shout out
Yeah.
to everybody in San Antonio. Like,
Yep.
hey,
I
keep
was looking
grinding.
at our undrafted free agents real quick. I don't know much about them. There was a guy from UTSA and a guy from UTEP,
I'm
undrafted free
telling
agent.
you, yeah.
And I'm just like,
It's
wow.
like
You know what I mean?
so well, and you may or may not know this, but I'm one of those people that like I like to see kind of trends and I like to kind of put
Mhm.
narratives together and like
Yeah.
kind of put a puzzle piece together.
Yeah.
And I feel like UTEP and UTSA are like the teams that are like they don't do much, but they
Hmm.
always just kind of have
They
like
do.
little pockets of things.
Yep. Yep.
My other going theory lately has been that the NFL is moving away from having two dominant safeties and they're moving to having one really good safety that they pay
Hmm.
really well.
Yep.
And then the next position is kind of like a we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyways.
Yeah. But
Well,
I
that's
like our
cool.
draft
So
pick. I know every one of them. I love them. I think they're good. We have a very young team. People don't realize we have a super young team when you look at the lineup and the depth chart. So I
how
think we
do you
picked up
know
what we
which
needed.
order it is as far as like being because I think Green Bay last year and I think this year had one of the younger teams.
I don't know, but I don't know. When I look at my depth chart, I'm just like, man, they're young, 1-2 years. I
Yeah.
mean, our linebackers are like green. You know what I mean? It's just like you got
Okay.
Levante David back there, and the rest of them are 1-2 year people, 3rd year maybe, 4 year maybe at max. You know what I mean? So it's like we have a
Mm.
super young team. So I like what we're building. I really still like we're still loaded. I feel like there are a few areas of the team that concerns me.
Let's
Size,
talk about them. Let's talk about your
yeah,
concerns that you have.
size and running back. So we got Rashad White. He's
Interesting.
a
Okay.
he's a he's a scat back. You know what I mean? Like he's get in and out of the holes. You got Bucky
Okay.
Irvin, which is probably going to be our 2 back, our second string, our second team. Small back. You know what I mean? He's not even 6 foot if I'm not mistaken. He may be 6 foot. And then we have Chase Edmonds.
Hold. Are you like me? Do
What?
you like to have at least one
I need
six
one.
foot?
I need one. I need
Let
6 foot
me
over
let me find
220.
out.
Over
Let me.
I need a third down. I need that 2 yards. You know what I mean?
So okay.
That's what I
So you
need.
know what? You know what? Nope. Nope. I'm gonna leave it. Go ahead. Go ahead. Okay. I hear you. I hear you. So okay,
So
running back is one of them.
running back size is my concern. I think they're all super fast scat backs. We don't have that
Okay.
power back. I need 3 yards. What are you gonna do? Can you get that and give me
Right.
losing 3 yards?
Yeah.
I
Like
don't think
move the
we have
pocket
that.
on your own.
I don't think we have that. So
Okay.
that's a concern for me. Um, I'm okay with my offensive line. I'm okay with my tight ends, Cade Otton. We got Devin Cope from Washington. I'm fine with that. I think we're
Okay.
good with tight end. Offensive line, I'm okay with. Like I said, the linebackers sometimes scare me a little bit because they're very young. You know, you get rid of Devin White. Do we have I forgot Diaby from Louisville? That's his 2nd year. We have KJ Britt, the other guy from Washington. I can't think of his name. I can't pronounce
It's
his name,
weird.
but
These names don't even ring a bell to
I
me. So
know
you're yeah.
I just know that whole team, and it's just like they're very young, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
one of you going to have to step up right now, which I think
Mm-hmm.
the young boy from Yabi, I can't think of his name, but he'll have to step up probably and be the one that's next to Levante David. But
Okay.
those are the only 2 concerns that I think I have is the running back size. I think they're all small, and the experience when you leave, you have a Devin White gone, and who can you take in to fill that spot? Can you be that equal like Devin White was to Levante David? I mean, that
Got
was
it.
without them, we don't win the Super Bowl. Without
Yeah.
one of them, we didn't win the Super Bowl. So it's like, who can take up and fill that void? Everyone else, I feel good about. Baker Mayfield, I just hope he can do what he did last season. I don't want him to have a, breakout year and then kind of dug off and be. I don't want him to fall to the old Baker Mayfield because we don't have a viable second quarterback.
Yeah, I was gonna say who is the backup?
Al Trask from Florida. He has not thrown
I don't
over
even know.
100 career yards. He's very green. He hasn't had any snaps, and it's like that concerns me a little bit because can Baker Mayfield keep it up to the level that he
Right.
did last season? And I hope he can, but I'm just like, please don't let him start ducking out. We don't have a second person to go to because Kyle Trask is in it, and I don't even know who's 3rd string. So that's my concern,
Interesting.
but I
Okay.
want to stay positive because I don't want to think because I was thinking negative about Baker last season. She proved me wrong, so I have to still remain on the positive side. But in the back of my mind, I still think he's going to Baker. In the like way back here, I'm like, please don't bring up the old Baker Mayfield. So outside of that, I'm happy with my team. I just hope we can just add on to what we did last year. I mean, we were the second ranked pass offense last year. You know what I mean? So it's like,
nothing wrong with that.
can we just keep that passing game going, get the running game going a little bit more? And I feel good. The NFC South, it'll be a battle between us and Atlanta. So
let's get into the NFC South. So we all know that I predicted I have the Falcons winning the division.
Every time I hear you say it, I'm like,
I always tell people, I'm like, you can tell I'm objective, because even if I have friends, I'm like, yeah, but this is what I think. Sorry.
No, that's a good, it's all us.
So I'm curious to know, like, how do you feel about the division? And then we'll talk about the schedule. When you look at the division, do you feel like you guys are ready to, like, obviously you're ready to compete. You won the division last year.
Yeah.
But how are you feeling, like, just based off of what you've seen your team do, based off of what other teams have done? How are you feeling about it?
I feel that we can easily win the NFC South.
Okay.
I mean, I know it's Carolina. We're not even going to talk about Carolina Panthers. I hate to even talk about my home team town like that, but we're not even going to talk about them.
My Carolina Panthers conversation went very well, but I hear you.
I would love to hear. I can't wait to hear that one.
It's a long one, but like so good, so good.
The Saints, no, they're not the Saints of the old. So I don't really worry about them as much as I used to with Drew Brees and the boys.
Okay.
The Falcons. The Falcons is my main thing. You don't know what Falcons team you're going to get. They all only thing they said was a quarterback, and I know me and you. We had our Justin Fields conversation, and I would have loved to see Justin Fields in Atlanta. Like, I would have loved to have seen that. And when you were talking about it, I was like, that's my rival team that I hate with a passion, but I would have loved to see, because he's the perfect plug and play for them. You know what I mean?
100%.
That's why I'm big on Michael Penix, and I know that's going to be his team come week 6. So it's just like, I'm concerned about Atlanta. I want to see how this quarterback play plays out. What Kirk Cousins are we going to get? Because that's our main rival now is Atlanta. So if we can I got to see what Atlanta looks like. I don't know. Under Michael Penix, I'm a little afraid. Kirk Cousins, I'm like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The reason why I picked the Falcons though too is like, I don't know. It just makes sense.
It did.
And I watched so many of their games last year. And like I said, I mean, I feel like there was like 5 or 6 games.
They were
right. They were right there. And I'm like, this quarterback is terrible. And then I think one game, like the kicker missed a field goal. I mean, so I think I actually agree with you. And so as I'm releasing these episodes, I'm releasing them. So like on Monday, I'm doing like the team I think is going to finish 4th, and then Tuesday, 3rd, and then whatever.
Okay.
And so there's a couple of divisions where I'm like, because it's like, I don't like, it's so close that it could literally go either way. But it's nice though to know that people are seeing the same thing I'm seeing with the Falcons. Like they look complete. You just don't really know if they are complete.
Right. They have a team. I mean, that's one game I go to every year. That's one that faithfully. And I watch every single snap. I may be drunk, but I watch every single snap. You know what I mean? And they're the team that scares me in the NFC South. Especially if they get clicking. And I mean, Penix, you get him rolling. If he can be as good as he was at Washington, even half as good as he was at Washington. I mean, I love Penix there. When they drafted him, I was like, I love it. I can't wait to go see Penix play. And I'm a Buccaneers fan.
Oh, that's good.
So
I'm like that with Lamar Jackson.
Right.
Like I don't cheer for the Ravens at all. But I will always cheer for Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Like even when he plays my team, I'm like, I hope they lose, but I hope he plays well. You know, like hope he throws the game-winning interception, but I hope he plays well.
Exactly. Like I have respect players. So if he begins to start and Atlanta has a home game, I'll go to the home game just to check him out. Like I want to see what he does. So I wish him best success. You know what I mean? But Atlanta Falcons is the only team I kind of worry about. Because we get both go. I feel like we're both evenly matched. I feel like we have a little bit more talent than them, but their defense just comes to play. I don't know what it is, man. So that's the only concern I have, along with our rest of our out of conference schedule was super rough.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. So who on the schedule, besides your division games, who on the schedule, when you look, so as of this recording, the schedule is out. I know some of my recordings, the schedule wasn't out.
Yeah.
So who have you seen And you're like, oh gosh, either the team makes you feel that
Yes.
way, or when you play them
Well,
feel that way.
the first game, and which I think I'm going to Tampa for that game. We play Commanders right offhand, first game, and the Commanders are very talented. I really think we match up really well with them. But Jaden Daniels, I mean,
Yeah.
that's a tough game for us week one. Was in Tampa, so that's not the worst. But
Okay.
they kind of worry me a little bit. Then we have Detroit at Detroit. It's not a good place
They'll
to
be
go
tough.
to. The playoff, we lost them in the playoffs this past season. Kansas City, they got to come to Tampa. We have 49ers. They got to come to Tampa,
Oh
if I'm not
gosh.
mistaken. We have a
Well, at
rough,
least you get these
I
teams though at
think.
home.
Yeah, I think I may be wrong on one or two of them, but I know
Okay.
we play Kansas City at home. I think we play 49ers at home. Baltimore, I think we have to go to Baltimore. We have a rough schedule. So
Yeah, then
um
that means you guys play us then.
no,
Are
we
are you
don't.
playing the AFC North?
No, we don't play you guys, if I'm not
Oh.
mistaken. I'm trying to think of the schedule in my head. I'm not even looking at it, but I just
Um
remember looking at those rough games. We play the Chargers, we play them.
so then let's see, we don't.
Yeah, I said I don't think
So we
so.
just play the Falcons.
Yeah, you
Don't even
do.
get me started on our schedule, because I'm like, every team that I'm like, oh, they're going to be good this year, the Steelers play. I'm like, of
Yeah, we,
course.
we have a
Like,
rough. We play Philly, so we have a rough.
oh,
We have a rough.
oh, weird. Y'all play the game. Y'all are similar to us. So we play
Yeah,
the Chiefs, we play Philly, we play
yeah,
the Ravens. Obviously, they're in our
yeah.
divisions.
We have a rough schedule. Outside of
Okay.
conference, we have a very rough schedule. I think the only one that's kind of I'm not saying it's a gimme. We play Denver. Um, I know we play Jacksonville Jaguars preseason. I think we play Buffalo preseason. So yeah, we
Okay.
have a tough schedule. Outside of conference, we have a hard nosed schedule. So it's gonna be a tough road. You know what I
Do
mean?
you
So
think that you all have to win the division to get into the playoffs this year? Or do you think that you all will win enough games if you don't
we
win
have
the
to win the
division?
division. I think
Okay.
it's with our rough schedule, we have to win the division. I think we have an extreme. Not saying that we're not capable of beating these teams, but all those teams I named off are proven. You know what I mean? I'm looking
Yeah,
at the 49ers, Chiefs.
true.
I mean, just Baltimore, Philly. You don't know what Philly team you're getting, but we play the Cowboys again. You just know what you know.
Uh,
So we have to win the division. We have to get into the playoffs, because if we don't, I don't know. It's a tough schedule.
it's a tough
It's a
schedule.
tough schedule. So we
Yeah.
have to win the division. I don't know if we win enough games. What I mean, I have good confidence in them, but once again, you just don't know. Like I
Yeah.
have good confidence in them. Hopefully, everyone can perform, especially Baker Mayfield, the way he did last season. We just can't have him slip at all. He has to be, if not even better than he was last season.
Mhm.
So any slip, we don't have room for slip. Like you
Yep.
have to be great the entire season. So
Yeah.
we have to win the division, and that's it. That's just all. In which I think we
And
can do.
I always say confidence doesn't win games.
No.
Desire doesn't win games from fans. So that's a perfect segue to
Yeah.
talk about the Colorado Buffaloes. So,
Ooh, spicy topic. Spicy.
so, so, and everybody who's listening to this as a Colorado fan is
Mm,
going to be so offended that I dare
mm,
said that. So we
ooh,
talked a little about this beforehand, and
we
I
did?
said, actually, don't say anything. Let's hit record. Let's talk about it.
Mm.
So I won't ask you any questions to like kind of trip at it. Listen, I'll be the neutral one. I won't throw you into the
You
fire
know
with
where I
me.
stand with Colorado, so
I do, but like I also like I got you. So I'm curious to know, what is your record prediction, and if you let me hear your record prediction, and then I'll ask you the second question.
I'm going to give them a. I'm gonna have to go the floor and ceiling route.
Okay.
Or what do we gotta do floor and ceiling? We can just do how many. Ugh. So I think, God knows it's so hard to give a record prediction. I'm going to give them 9 wins,
Okay.
8 to 9. I
And
think
so
that's
are
their
you doing
that's
floor
their.
ceiling? Or are you
I
just saying
think
you're going to give them solid 8,
I
solid
think
9?
the ceiling for them is 9.
Okay.
The floor 7 ish.
Okay.
I don't know. It's so hard. You know what I mean? Because I would like on paper, they look like it win 10 games. They really do on paper
What
look
makes
like
you
it
say
can.
that on paper?
Because I feel like, okay, you gotta think of the roster last season. The roster last season, they were getting whatever they could. And look at half of
Mhm.
those guys. Look at the teams they went to in the portal. That
I
tells you
agree.
everything you kind of need to know. A lot of them went down. Most of them went down levels.
I
So
agree.
it's like, look at it. Take that team, take this year's team, and put those players in the transfer portal. They won't be going down a level. I think they can all play in that Power Five. Me personally, I really think that.
Okay.
So you look at the offense outside the running back, which is a little bit shaky. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Look at the receivers. Like I know we all say, "Oh, they don't have the best receivers." They have one of the best. They have some talented receivers. I'm
They
sorry
do
about
have talented receivers.
super talented receivers.
I agree with
So
that.
it all depends on what this line is looking like. Everybody hype
Mhm.
this line up. Now, if they can potentially block for Shador, I can't see anybody stopping that offense. It's hard for me to see that because they couldn't look how good he did with no blocking at all. You
Okay.
give him just a little bit of protection, you can't guard all those receivers. I mean, you got Wester, you got Will Shepherd. All these guys are top where they were. You know what I mean? And throw Travis Hunter in there. I don't want to sound like a fan because I'm not on that fandom side.
No,
I'm not
the
on the.
be
I just think the
well,
wide
it's
receiver
it
is
okay.
really good.
So
You know what I mean?
let's just say here's the thing about the fandom thing. And this is not about Colorado. This is about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but I don't think there's anything wrong with being fanned out over your team.
Right.
I just think that when somebody presents something that actually makes sense,
Yeah.
that's where I feel like it gets a little because I'm a Texas fan, right? And so if
Mhm.
it, I could rattle off all the Texas players, and I could be like, we were 11-1 last year. Our offensive line is coming back. We have the best running backs, we have
Yeah.
the best receiver, right? And I can go toe to toe.
Yeah.
And then you might come back to me and say, yeah, but y'all secondary. I have a choice. I could either defend it and be like, it's not going to be that bad because, or I could say, that's a really good point.
That's true. That's true.
And fandom doesn't allow people to go, ooh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we could suck there.
It's tough. Colorado is because you're bringing all these players. You got this major turnover every single year. You know, chemistry is a thing. You know what I mean? So it's just like, can you guys gel to pull all of this talent together to really
Yeah.
make it work? So I think they can win 9 games. I think that's
Okay.
an amazing season for them. I mean, go to a bowl game. I would love for them to potentially win the Big
Mm,
12. I just don't know.
yeah,
But
9 games is brilliant.
I think 9 games I think they can do that. If they don't do 9 games, I'm like, but once again, it's all dependent on what that line looks like and
Yeah.
what the defensive line also
So
looks like.
I want to just give my counter conversation and how I'm
Okay.
looking at this because I think this is this is how I picture this. And I don't
Okay.
know if I've said this on an episode or not, or if I record, I don't know at this point. So my thing is this: is Colorado better than they were last year?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
However, the teams that they're playing this year were better than Colorado was last year
Yes.
let's just say by 5 points. I'm making
Yeah.
up a system, but let's say they were
Right.
better by 5 points.
Yeah.
So if they're better by 5 points and Colorado got 3 points better,
Yeah.
there's still something
Yeah.
that's not there. And then let's say they just got 1 point better. So they're at 6 and Colorado's still kind of at 3.
Yeah.
So when I'm looking at this, I'm like, Kansas State's offensive line hasn't gone anywhere.
Yes. Next.
Texas Tech's offensive line hasn't gone anywhere.
We'll
I
solidify.
keep saying this. Baylor's offensive line is getting so like
Yeah.
that's how I look at this. I look at this from the team perspective, just because Texas was in the Big 12 and we struggled. So it's like,
Mhm.
and when I look at talent for talent, if I look at
That's
Texas or
true.
even
That's
OU
true.
and then look at Colorado,
That
I
is very
mean,
true.
no
Very true.
disrespect to
Especially with
Colorado,
the point that you
but
made about Texas being in the Big 12 last year, and they that's
they
that says
struggled.
a lot. That says a lot.
And
That's
they
11 and
struggled
1
because they
team.
had
You know
good
what I mean?
offensive lines
Yeah.
and good defensive lines. Because in the Big 12, I've always said this, no team last year, Texas was loaded.
Yeah. They were.
Historically, no team in the Big 12 is ever really loaded. They usually do certain things well, but
Right.
collectively they play good football.
Yeah.
And what that
They're not
means for
loaded.
me is they have a
Yeah.
solid offensive line and a solid defensive
Mhm.
line, and they can run the ball. I don't know what Colorado has. And so that's my concern is I've seen
That's
this
true.
story
That's
with
true.
my team for about 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
So I've seen this story before.
This is
And so
it's a hard book to read. I don't know. I have to
we
see
don't know because
the
we're plugging
first
and playing.
game
There's so
is
many
gonna tell
players.
the first game is gonna tell me everything I need to know.
That's
Even though that's North Dakota State, you can't sleep on them, but if they don't blow them out by like 30 or that game
yeah,
cannot be close. It cannot
and
be close.
I just don't see a blowout. But
Absolutely.
I'm a fan that I don't think they need a blowout. I think they need to win. I think Colorado will
A dominant
win
win. They do a
ugly.
dominant win.
I don't think
You
they're
don't
gonna
think so?
have I think the first game of the season, it's messy, it's
That's true.
discombobulated.
Figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we think this is our offensive line, but is this
Yeah,
all
they better
like
have it
I
together for that
so
next week. They play Nebraska.
yeah, and I just don't feel like yeah, and then right, and then you have Nebraska
There you
next
go,
week, so
Nebraska.
it's like you
Yeah,
almost have to kind of throw it all out there at
you
the wall
do.
and see what
You do.
sticks and see what's good because next week it's game time for real
You
for
know
real.
that game coming for throats on that
Yeah.
game. And I really
So,
feel I'm not I don't even want to put this in the air, but I feel like people are gonna be really gunning for Shador this year. Like they're
uh
gonna be gunning for
yeah,
him and
not
Travis.
just
You know
Shador,
what I mean?
Colorado.
Yes, because everybody
And
plays
it's
their best
prime time, first
football.
game of the season.
Yes.
And as a competitor, I would be like, screw those guys. I don't care about
I'm
them.
telling you. I think
Like,
about Colorado, everybody plays like if you're playing a video game and you can give a boost to your entire team, that's what everybody does when they play
mhm,
Colorado. Like they play the best game.
yep.
Nobody wants to lose to Dion. Nobody wants to lose to Prime. So I don't care if you're going out there playing UTSA like we just spoke about. They're
Yeah.
gonna be the best ball that they've probably played that
Mhm.
entire season just because you don't want. So that already has them like other teams leg up because they don't want to lose to Prime. So
Right.
it'll be interesting. So what's your record then? What's your record? I don't know if I ever heard your record.
So my record prediction is 7-5. Um,
That's safe.
I
That's safe.
it's a safe 7
Safe.
and 5. A video I don't know when this video was going to release, so I'm sure my other video will have been released by the time this one released because I've
Okay.
already recorded it. I have a lot of concerns though.
I know you do.
And I think it's going to be one of those seasons where I think it's going to look like a Steeler season where it's like there's going to be peaks where you're going to be like, "Oh my gosh." And then there's going to be valleys where you're going to be like, "What the hell is this?" And I think they're going to have a defense that's kind of
We,
bend and break
we
sometimes,
can do a whole
but
show.
I think they're going to get so I think it's just going to be one of those years where it's like, "Okay, here we go." That's
Yeah.
why a North Dakota State barely winning wouldn't concern me
Okay.
because
Okay.
last year, the games we were supposed to win, we barely
You barely
lost.
won. Yeah,
So I
barely
think
won.
if you barely win, you know what I'm like, I feel like that's a good, like we're kind of turning the corner.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like I'm gonna will this team to win. I'm gonna be like, it's okay if
Yeah.
it's by in the last 30 seconds. It's okay if it's a last second drive. Like
Yeah. You just got
I
pieces.
think that's who we are.
Yeah. But see, we can have we can do a whole stream about this. I know you don't want to go in a super tangent about Colorado, but the one thing that kind of concerns me, just real quick, is like this is your last year with Shador and Travis. You're not going to be replacing that talent coming up. So my concern is coming into a season like next year. You know what I mean? So this year they have to win the recruits. This is a winning recruits are
I
sitting back and they're
I
like, oh,
do agree with you, but what do you consider when like so in my
you have
opinion,
in my
I consider a 7-5 path.
successful.
Right. And I
Successful
think
season.
7-5 gets you what you need. I think 8-4 really gets you what you need
Really gets
because
you what you need. Yeah.
yeah. And
So
that's
I
what
just
I'm
feel like
saying. It's like I
you gotta
just
have a 7-5 or better year because recruits, I
I
really
agree
think they
with that.
want to come to Colorado. I really think some of
I
them
agree with
really
that
want to be
too.
in that culture. They just like the everything. They're young kids. They like seeing the rappers. They like seeing this stuff. They don't really care. They don't care about no gold jacket. I don't want to hear that.
They don't care
I
about
don't want
that.
to hear that.
Absolutely
They don't
not.
care about
No.
that. But they like all. Who wouldn't want to? I know Shador would be going, but who didn't want to go and be with Shador? They out there in Prime's house. Who doesn't want
I
to do
agree.
that? You know what I mean?
No, I
So
agree.
little things like that just sells Colorado, and I feel like
Mhm.
the quarterback spot is wide open because that's the biggest spotlight that you're going to have. So it's that's why it's so much riding on this year because you have to win. You have to have it. I'll say this: you have to have a successful season to win some recruits over to
I
really
agree.
get those big boys. You know what I mean? You're playing
Mhm.
for. Let me see if they can win, and who are they getting to set me up coming in? You know what I mean? So
That's it.
it's a lot riding on this season. I think they can win 9, but it just depends on if they can all put it together and if that
Yeah.
line can hold up. And we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, because what I saw in the spring game, actually, let me not even go there because I'm just like,
Don't even do it because we already talked about that. Don't even do the spring game, yo. because we talked about it. I didn't see the spring game. I didn't watch it. So
You didn't miss anything.
when they had Isaiah Harge at running back, I'm like, wait a minute, no, like this ain't gonna work. This is like, let's be real. You got to have the Charlie's. Okay, we're not gonna go off on a tangent.
Yeah, like we could have another episode to talk about this because I
have a lot of thoughts.
I've been, and I try so hard to like, I'm gonna be objective, but my objectivity comes before being a fan, and I just can't help it. I'm like, and I do the same thing.
Negative because we're not fanned out. You know, people think
I do. I do the same thing with my Steelers, and I do the same thing with my Longhorns. I'm gonna call it like I see it, and when I see that it ain't it, I'm gonna be like, that ain't it, because I knew like so. But anyways,
we'll do that another episode. No, we'll do that.
Yeah, because the other thing I'm curious to know is what games you think they're most potential to lose, but. We'll figure that out another time.
We'll do another show about that. Yeah.
Because I'm curious, and also I will say, because I remember you saying you're like, I don't really like talk football, so I'm like,
but
I'm like, come on over.
You know me, like Tampa Bay, like I can name probably my entire starting lineup. The first thing, you know me, like I know my team, but outside of them, I follow Colorado because I'm gonna be real with you, my college team is Tennessee. I've always been a big Tennessee fan.
You know what?
Yeah.
We've went through some wars with
days. Like I'm a Tennessee fan. I kind of fell off of them over the years, but my original love was I love Tennessee, and that I was a Tennessee fan for years, and I still have a Tennessee jersey. I have 2 Tennessee jerseys in there, so I just don't really follow them as much as I kind of fallen off. I used to be diehard college football, but I kind of fallen off watching it a lot. Colorado kind of got me really bounced back, and they're the one team that had me watching every single game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
and everything we went through, we deserve some wins.
Oh my goodness, man! That season, you had me
everybody check your mental health after that, because
oh my god,
I feel like everybody needs to go to therapy August 26th, 27th, and 28th. Just so we have coping mechanisms, just in case. Because I'm going to tell you, and then I'll get off this topic. I'm going to tell you, for the Twitter fan base, if Colorado doesn't do what they're supposed to do,
off bridges. You hear me?
We're going to need some therapists on Twitter that will follow the hashtag and be like, "Hey, wellness check."
Oh my god. And I feel bad because if other people are going to come, the other fan bases are going to come for them so bad. Oh my god!
And so I'm like, y'all got this.
We got to do a buffs. I would love to talk this more because
let's figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll do it. Yeah, we'll do it sometime in like August or something, kind of where it's like it's close, but it's still not too close.
I need to see the complete team on well off because they see so many pieces of coming. I need to see the complete team on well off and see what they show us. You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't need to see that. I just need to get in my thoughts, and I need to just.
You don't care about what they put off or well off. You don't even care about that.
I don't care. I don't care. I care about what I see inside of those lines on August 29th, Thursday, August 29th. Show me what you got, and in the meantime, I will work to convince myself that everything is okay, and that's just how I'm rolling.
That date will be here before you know it.
Yeah. So back to the Bucs. Thanks for going on that journey with me.
Oh, you know it.
It's like this, but this is what this is all about. This is sports, right? It's like the good, the bad, the ugly, and you're hoping your team figures it out. Yeah. So tell me, okay, I've mentioned this before. Being a Bucs fan is, what is it like to be a Bucs fan? I feel like we don't hear about the Bucs. Where do you all hang out? Do you follow Twitter hashtags for the Bucs? Do you follow the Bucs on Instagram?
I follow the Bucs on Instagram. I follow them on Twitter, and the only YouTube channel that I watch Buck related is Locked On Bucs. You know what I mean? I think every channel probably has a Locked On whatever.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
But they're small. They're like 5,000 subscribers, man. But they really go in depth with them. You know what I mean? So I follow some of the players. You know what I mean? As in like where we hang out and everything. Like I said, I only know probably 5 friends that may be Bucs fans, from college to Twitter friends, from like my YouTube subscribers, that's Buck fans. But I mean, that's it. You know, you don't, once again, we have one of those fan bases that's not really like deep into it until you go to a
Yeah.
game. And I feel like that's
Okay.
probably anywhere, but the
That's where
Tampa
you
fan base,
connect. It's like
yes, the
you're
Tampa
meeting, your
Raymond James
cult
gets
meeting. I'm just
crazy. You
kidding.
know what I mean? Like Raymond James gets wild. And when I come in, I'm in the Atlanta areas, and I'm always going to go to the, you know, the Falcons Bucks game. We always
Okay.
get in Florida. We always do club section, so we're sitting right on the sideline. That's why I love
Love
Devin
it.
White, because they had a whole conversation with Devin White about shoes on the sideline, like super
Yeah, I
cool.
feel like I need to show up to that. That sounds like my type of vibe.
We get club seats, and we never go to the seats, and we're literally right on the sideline, and the players are right there. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's my type of vibe.
Exactly. So we do that
Yeah.
every single Bucks game. We'll go out there, get club level, man, and it's just a good time. But when you get around other Bucks fans,
Yeah.
it's just insane, and we're just obnoxious, especially Atlanta. You know what I mean? Like
I love
it's
that.
borderline about to fight out there, but it's all love.
So do
You
y'all
know what
bring
I
the
mean?
strippers too because you're in Atlanta or
They be out there. They out there though. They
you
out there
bring...
floating around a Mercedes. No doubt about it.
Okay. So this is off the wall, off
Yeah.
the cuff, but
Mhm.
I'm curious. Do your technically T
Mhm.
people know how much you're into sports? Like,
Probably not.
obviously, I've been to a couple of lives, like I've sat in there and I've
Yeah.
laughed with you all, but like,
Yeah.
is this like
No.
the other half of you, like
Yeah.
that people don't often see
Mm-mm.
because they
Probably
see
not.
you in the tech space?
Yeah, they just see me in tech space. You gotta think most diehard tech people aren't sports people. Let's just be real. Like
That's
they're
true.
more in all respect, they're more on the nerdier side. They don't watch a
Yeah,
lot of sports. So
that's true.
it's only a few people because I have a Discord. So we talk sports in my Discord with my
Okay.
close members of my channel, people who pay to be members of my channel. We talk sports, but the general people, like if I just happen to make a quick little Bucks joke, if I record a video after on a Monday where we just sucked or something, I'll be like, oh, another week, yeah, my Bucks lost or something like, and they'll be like, oh, and then we kind of talk about it real quick. But I don't think they know the sports side because for me, I have a couple interests. Like my YouTube is sports, cars, tech, and guns. That's it. That's my four interests. That's all on my YouTube channel. So those are my
Sounds
four
like
interests.
you should live in Texas.
Oh my god. So those are my four things. Those are my four things that I'm into. But I don't think my tech people know I like sports. Is the only I can really talk like Bucks. Bucks I can go in on, and not many
Yeah.
people can spit out. People like I don't know none of those players you just talked about. None of your Bucks team, but I do. So
Okay.
it's only a few people. You know what I mean? I'm interested who you off topic. Who did you get for Jacksonville Jaguars?
One of my friend's husbands.
Okay, because my brother's a Jaguar fan, and I don't know no Jag fans but him.
I don't
None.
know any fan. Yeah, same. There's a
I
lot of
really,
teams that I was like,
I
send
was
help.
really
I
curious.
messaged you. I was like, smoke signal. Like send, like
All
send
I
them,
was just
please.
like, My Seattle. I said my Seattle homegirl's from Seattle. She's diehard. That would have been a good one.
Yeah.
She's diehard Seattle, but she's international right now, and I was just like, everybody else, I don't know. I just don't. You know what I
Trust
mean?
me, I
I'm
was a
interested in how
major
you found
sleuth.
all these people.
I was a major sleuth. I was a stalker. I was in people's DMs. I was hitting up their YouTube pages. I was asking friends. I met somebody and I'd be like, hey, thanks for interviewing with me. Do you by chance know anyone that I can talk to? Like, listen, I'm one of those people, like, for better or for worse. If I want something to happen, if I want to make something happen,
Yeah.
I'm going to make it happen. Now,
How are you putting them out? Are you going through draft or worse? How are you doing that?
division.
You're doing division at a time. Okay.
Division, yeah. So, a friend of mine, which is pretty smart, recommended like if you do division by division, it makes people in that division interested to hear what their rival
Yeah,
teams
make
have
it a
to
favorite.
say.
We can talk about that after we stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the other thing I just wanted to ask you, another off the cuff question, because I
Mhm.
know you'll be able to answer this, is what is your favorite electronic? Like if I came to you and I said, I don't know anything about electronics, but what should I buy? That would be the one thing and only one thing that you would say you should get this thing. What would that be?
See, that's too open of a question, though.
Okay.
You
So
gotta
what if I
narrow it
said if
down.
I'm going to travel and I
Okay.
need one electronic that I want to travel with, and I like, what would you say? Go get this thing because it will help you make sure you're already charged, or the battery will be good, or like what would you tell me like I had to have?
Probably the Anchor Prime series, 20,000 milliamp hour battery.
Okay.
That's a travel beast. That makes sure
And
everything is charged multiple times. I mean, you can charge your iPhone probably 4 or 5 times. You know what I mean?
okay.
So travel is so because I travel, and then like if I
I
travel
know.
accessories is just like it's important to have a battery charger, a good
I
Anchor
that's true.
battery
That's true.
charger that has enough juice to get your phone from 0 to 100, not once, but more than once. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's very pivotal. I think that's key because one thing you see in the airports is people hugging up around chargers. That will never be
All the
me.
time.
I have my
Yeah.
chargers with me. So one thing that's the first thing that goes in my travel bag is always going to be external battery chargers. And more than one. I may always do a
I was
small
gonna
one.
say, how many do you travel with?
Usually two. I usually do a smaller one.
Okay, breaking news when
Our lug,
traveling.
our luggage, our carry-on luggage comes with an external battery pack.
Okay.
That's already in there. So that's 10,000 milliamp hours, which is considered the ones that charge your phone up more than once. So
Okay.
there comes with that one in there. And I typically take one more with me because one of my friends are going to need a battery pack as well, and you can't have mine. So you hear there's an extra. You can have that one, but you can't get mine. You know what I mean?
I'm
So
like that too.
I say
I'll,
battery
I'll
pack
always take two, but you can't have mine.
always.
I
You
have
can have
one for
mine though.
you.
I need my juice. You know what I mean? Because I got a bunch of tape with me. So
Okay.
I say a battery pack. I'll say get yourself a battery pack that can not the little rinky dink 5,000 milliamp hours that can't charge your phone up
By the
from
way,
0
that's
to
probably
100.
what I have off Amazon.
You
So.
got to get one that's 10,000 or better for everybody watching this. 10,000 milliamps or better will get you where you need to go. And I think that's a good
Awesome.
travel charger.
See, who says you can't? Who says you can't talk about sports and technology? There you go. There you go. Anything else that you want to say or mention before we end this live? First, before that, I just want to thank you because I
Oh,
know
no
that
doubt.
I've been extremely annoying, and I
No,
know
it was
that
all
you've
good.
been
I was just
busy
busy.
doing your things, getting your home, getting your life together, and
Yeah.
here I
Oh my
am, like,
God.
come and talk to
I knew.
me.
I said I'm gonna do it because I'm not gonna leave you hanging because I haven't done this before. I've never been anywhere to talk Buccaneer ball
Yeah,
besides a few of my friends made texts. You know what I mean? So that was
yeah,
good to open up about Bucks. So that kind of
yeah.
get me ready for the season. You know what I mean? And then you
Well,
realize too,
here's the
like,
thing.
man,
And I kind of knew that. And so I
yeah,
knew I'm like, I'm going to have to like stay very consistent and
you
I'm
have
going
to
to
with
have
me
to be
because
annoying.
I'm so big. Like I've been so busy these past few weeks, and it's this week I
Yeah.
was getting ready because my family is coming in town this weekend. So like cleaning up, getting stuff together. I said, but I told her I'm going to do it. I got to stick to it because then she's going to have to try to find a second Bucks fan. I know that you
Yeah. And
said
I
you had
was
a
gonna,
backup, right?
and to be fair, if I would have had to find another fan, you would have never heard the end of it. And when I say never, I mean in freaking 10 years. I would be like, remember
I
that
said, I'm
one
not standing
time?
her up. I said, no, I can't do that. I said, I got to do it. I said, you know what? I got some time because this is when I would normally live stream. So I was
Yeah.
just like, she said it's going to be fairly quick. I'm like, it's cool. It doesn't matter because all I'm going to do is do this and go to bed because I go to work in the morning. So it's like, I
Well,
don't care.
listen,
So
my last ditch effort, I was going to pop up in your life and be like, "Oh,
well, see, I
is
haven't
it?
been live.
Yeah."
I
I
haven't
was
been
gonna be
live.
like, "I
You
know,"
know
but
what
I
I
was gonna be
mean?
like, "Oh, you're gonna do okay, all right,
No, I
all
knew I
right."
was going to do it. I just had to be like, okay, this date. Let's just do Wednesday and we're done
Yeah,
with it. You know what I mean? Let's just do
we
it.
got it.
So,
Cool.
yeah.
Well, anyways, I cut you off. So first of all, thank you. I
No doubt.
appreciate you for
Yeah,
just coming
anytime.
on, being willing, and
You
also
know,
just helping me with YouTube. Also, like you've
yeah,
been
we can talk.
tremendous of
Yeah.
me, just like
I have to
asking you
talk
questions.
more. Yeah, like I can really go in with YouTube. You know what I mean? So we just gotta, if you have a question, you just always hit me up because I'm always willing to
Yeah.
help YouTube.
Well, always hit you. It's kind of
I'm,
so,
you know,
sometimes because there's been a couple of times when I'm like, "Hey, I have a question." And you're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was so busy." I'm like, "Okay." He was so busy, guys. Even though I saw him sitting in a Twitter Spaces listening to a conversation for
that's in the
like
background with
hours,
the
but he
AirPods
was
though.
so
That's in the
busy.
background with the AirPods.
Uh huh.
Just
Yeah,
listen.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Gotta listen to both.
Anyways, so anything else you want to say about your Bucks before we end this, or
No,
anything else that you want to let us know?
no,
Oh, and then tell people
no.
where to find you. You said at the beginning, I see it. I see your plaque. I see your little Twitter thing popping in and out. So
Oh, was there? Oh, I didn't even know it was still there. Yes, so it's technically T everywhere. Instagram. I'm most active on YouTube, of course, and Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. So
yeah.
it's technically T across the board. Like I said, if you have iPhones, that's kind of what I specialize in. If you need to know about some accessories, hit me up. You know what I mean? I drop multiple videos once I get back going. I've been kind of going with moving and everything. So we moved to a new house, but I drop multiple videos per week, and I will be live streaming once a week. Once I get probably starting next week, I'm back to doing my weekly live stream. So,
And the
Teddy
videos are
across the
fire.
board. Yeah, you know it.
So
You know it.
awesome. Well, thank you for coming on.
No,
And
you
I'm
know it.
sure at some point we'll talk again and
Yes,
just talk Buffaloes.
we
Because
gotta
maybe I
do it.
should do a series where I'm like, let's
We gotta
talk
do it.
Buffs.
We gotta do it because you know it's gonna bring the views in. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I can do it because I've been wanting to get on some of these panels, but the panel thing, I don't like getting on big panels. Like when it's like 12 people, I just like I don't know how you do it. I can't do it. Like I would love to get on some panels, and
yeah.
I'm like, once they get to fussing and talking over, I don't got time. You know what I mean? So I would love to talk some buff talk because I can talk sensible Bucks, Bucks and buff. I get mixed up, but
I think
Buffalo
it's
talk
funny
all
when
the
you
time.
said you don't know how I do it because I think when I get up there, it's not.
They calm
I
down. They see you coming.
yeah.
They're like, oh, she's in here. Let me calm down.
Well, I
Every
think
single time.
anytime a woman steps into it's going to be a little
You would
different
think
just
so.
because
You would
it,
think so. It would not be jungle
valid.
like. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Let
Goodness.
me end this before we get in
Goodness.
trouble. Anyways, thanks for coming on.
You already know.